something really special about using decorations that you have made when you're decorating your home for any seasonal celebration or special occasion. And I'm really excited to be part of a Halloween gingerbread playlist with some very talented YouTube channels. You'll be able to see all the links in my description below. I'm going to be sharing with you today how to make a gingerbread house that you can use for Halloween. It's very simple. I'm going to first go through everything that you'll need and then we'll do the project together. So let me just turn the camera around and we'll get stuck in. So the first thing you're going to need is a craft bird's house. Any bird's house will do. This one I have got on our website. I'll link it below. And if you do use this particular one, we also have a pattern which will help you cut out the EVA foam that we're going to use to cover it. And I'll also link the pattern below. But as I said, any craft birdhouse will do. So that's our first thing. Now I mentioned the EVA foam. I am choosing to use the glitter one. I've got a black glitter and an orange glitter, but any colours you can use. And if you don't want to use the glitter one, of course you can use the plain EVA foam as well. So we're going to need that. Next, we're going to need some spackling. This is the one I have. I know there's a couple of other brands. I'm sure they'll all work fine. And you're going to need a mixing bowl and whatever colour paint you choose. I'm going to use orange. I've got my bowl and my spatula. And then to pipe it onto the gingerbread house, some sort of piping bag with a tip, any shape that you like. Now to cut out your EVA foam, obviously you'll need some scissors and possibly a ruler to get everything straight. To decorate it up afterwards, once you've got all your spackling on, you can buy some decorations. I like to use these lightweight clay to make little balls and shapes that I'll be using on mine. Once again, you can get those from our website, but I know lots of places sell it as well. So they're the basic things that you're going to need to get your project started. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut out my pattern. Each of the pattern pieces tells you how many you need. So I've got my EVA foam here and I've decided that I'm going to do the roof in black, so I'll just put that piece aside, but the front and the back and the sides and the base of it I'm going to do in orange. So what I'll do is I'll just turn this around here and I'll be able to pin that down. I love working with EVA foam when I'm doing craft projects like this. It's a really nice way to get a great finish, and I know sometimes it's nice to paint, but the EVA foam, particularly for projects like this, works really well. Just a couple of pins to keep it in place so I can cut around it easily. I'll put this one down here. Right, and now to get cutting. I need 2 of each of the sides and the back and the front, so I'm just going to cut those ones again. Now, if you love creating, decorating and celebrating, I think you will love our Celebration Central Facebook group. It's a great place with very supportive and friendly members who share loads of ideas. I host weekly lives as well as giveaways and exclusive member-only specials to our 2 online stores, the Christmas Cart and Gifts and Keepsakes. I would love to get to know you over there, so come and join me. I'll pop the link below. And then we've just got to cut out the roof. 2 of these. That's great. So we now have 2 pieces for our roof. That will go here. We have 2 pieces for our sides. That will go here. And then we have the 2 pieces for the front and the back. And then finally we have the piece for the bottom. Goes around the bottom there. Alright. So the next step is to start sticking the EVA foam on, and there's a number of ways you can do that. I'm going to start initially with a bit of the clear glue. You could use Mod Podge, wood glue, anything like that, just to get the pieces in place, and then we can go around the outside with a bit of hot glue if we feel we need it. One thing I find with the EVA foam is it does kind of stretch a little bit. So, and remember we're going to have piping all the way around the edges as well. So just push it as you're putting it down, just push it to the corners a little bit, and therefore you'll get it nice and flat, and it won't overhang too much. Okay, so we've got our first piece of roof on, and then we'll put our second one on. And just take a little while to dry, but in the meantime we can move it around. One thing we will need to do is we're going to need to cut the perch off our little bird's house, and that can be done very easily with just a little pair of pliers, just like that. And now we'll put the front on. Doesn't really matter what order you do these in, just as long as you get all the pieces on and stretch them out to the outsides as you're going. Nice fit. You don't have to do the back, of course, but it's kind of nice to finish it off, depending on if you want to use it in the center of the table or something like that. You know it's all finished. Stretch that out. Now, if you wanted to cut your EVA foam to go right to the edges, you could, not a problem. Our little pattern just takes it so it sits inside, and then we use the piping to sort of cover up all the edges. Doing the sides. Awesome. And then the final piece is this one. Goes down the bottom. I always find this one a little bit tricky to fit. Around a little bit. It's great, we can trim up any rough edges later when it's dry. Alright, so whilst that's drying for a little while, we're going to make up our piping. Just pop that to one side. Some orange paint that I'm going to put in there. Now this paint is just craft paint, any particular brand, doesn't matter, just whatever colour you like. I've actually got one that's got a bit of a pearl finish to it, so I'm really interested to see how that comes out. Just stir it around like you would icing. All the colour mixed in. It needs to be a little bit brighter, and I've got some of this fabric paint, like a very neon orange fabric paint, so I'm going to give that a try. that might just add that extra little bit of brightness that I need to it. I do feel it needs to be a little bit brighter, so I've actually got some red paint which I will add to it. Just see if we can get that slightly deeper. There we go, just a touch. Lighten a little bit of yellow to balance it out. Let's see. Let's try this yellow. Okay. So now we're going to get piping. Piping bag in here. Now this orange spackling will actually deepen as it's drying and become a bit brighter. So I will just leave it at this colour at the moment. Just grab one of my old placemats that I use when I'm crafting for messy things. I'm going to pull this into place, and we might start with the base to get things moving. You can do any type of pattern that you might like. I'm just going to do some simple lobs around the outside like this. And then I'll go up the top here, joining up the corners and the bottom. Awesome. Well, that is all I'm going to do for today. I'm going to let it dry overnight and then we'll come down and we'll decorate it together. But for now, I've got to get all this faux icing off my hands. Well, I have let my gingerbread house dry overnight and the spackling is all pretty dry. It's a little bit soft to touch, so be careful when you're handling it. If you can leave it for longer than 24 hours, that's probably better. I'm just going to put a door on the front of my gingerbread house and then I'll just share a few ideas on how you could decorate it up and how you can finish it. The options are limitless. So now I've got the door on, I'm going to just add a few little decorations. I'll start with some of this lightweight foam and just pop some little baubles along the roof line. And then I'm probably just going to add some spiders and some spiders' webs. I love working with this lightweight foam. It's so fun. It's like, playing with Play-Doh when we were kids. It's really easy to work with. Make some great shapes. I like to make marshmallows out of it, macaroons, obviously these little decorations. The brown ones make really good not gingerbreads, donuts. They're really fun and they decorate all that fake bake stuff. You don't have to be an expert at it to get a really nice result, and it's just a lot of fun. Now, if you wanted to, you could definitely pop the little decorations like this on while the spackling was still wet, and that way you wouldn't have to sort of hot glue them on top. But I wanted to just let mine dry, so I didn't risk sort of knocking it around too much. It also means that I can sort of position them quite high on top of the spackling. Either way would look really nice. Got to remember that my door is still wet around the edges, so I don't want to knock it. You can see that I'm sort of popping the little balls of the clay inside one of the kind of dips of the icing, sort of nestling it in a little bit there. And then we just got to do a few around the back without touching the icing. Okay. And now, because this is still wet, I'm just going to carefully pop one in each of the corners here. Perhaps a couple more the sides. There we go. So I've decided that I'm going to make my gingerbread house the top up for a cake or a faux cake. So I've got this gift box here, just a plain black gift box, and I will just give you a little bit of an idea of what I mean. I'm just going to lift it atop there. I'll show you here. And then I'll be able to decorate around it and get it all finished off. Well, there she is, all finished and sitting with some of her spooky friends. You can see that I added a lollipop that I made in the light clay, very simple. And then I've just popped on a couple of spiders and surrounded my gingerbread house with some pumpkins, a skilly, and at the backdrop there I've just got an old door and a garland above. So I love doing all this sort of decorating, and if you do too, make sure you subscribe because I would love to be sharing all of my celebration decorating with you. And particularly as we are getting ready for Christmas, there will be lots of craft projects and inspirational videos. Well, that's it from me for now. I hope you enjoyed this video and got some ideas and inspiration. Because remember, life is meant to be celebrated.